Welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, Ethiopian army spokesperson a few hours ago released a warning for some groups and people who are allegedly trying to defame the army or trying to create divisions within the army. Question is which groups? The spokesman did not name anyone, but he gave some hints. Secondly, Birhanu Jula is Ethiopian military chief, and he spoke about reorganization, dismantlement of special forces around 24 hours ago. And there he leveled serious allegations against Fano. What did he say about Fano? Because he was all praise for Fano a few months ago. Why is that now he is blaming Fano for unrest in the entire Amhara region? Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian army spokesperson held a press briefing a few hours ago. Colonel Gatnet is his name. And there he warned some groups and people without naming anyone. He said some groups, some people are trying to defame the army. They're trying to malign the army. They are spreading false information about Ethiopian army. And they want to create divisions. They want to create a distrust between army officers. He did not name anyone. He said it cannot be tolerated that people have politics in one hand and gun in the other hand. And he said this propaganda against army was launched after the decision was made to reorganize special forces. Special forces have been dismantled now. Around 48 hours ago, Ethiopian army formally announced the dismantlement of special forces. I think Colonel Gatnet is referring to some statements by some political parties, mainly based in Amhara region. I think Ethiopian army spokesperson pointed his finger towards groups and people based in the Amhara region, because we have seen some statements asking the army, the military, the government to revoke decision of dismantlement of special forces, Amhara special forces, other regional special forces. We saw statement from NAMA, National Movement of Amharas. NAMA issued some statements, two statements. Then NAMA party members requested an emergency meeting of Amhara Regional Council. And 5 members of House of Representatives issued a joint statement, Aslan Chane, Christian Tadal and others. They called the decision to dismantle special forces illegal. They said it was a violation of Ethiopian constitution, and they asked the international community to intervene. NAMA asked NAMA party in its statements, in a joint statement, asked Ethiopian army to refrain from committing atrocities against people in Amhara, and it said that the operation in Amhara by Ethiopian army was illegal. Then we saw some reports that some army officers were not in agreement with main command regarding disarmament of Amhara special force members. General Massaret was quoted by some sources that he opposed the decision of dismantlement of special forces. I think this statement by Colonel Gatnet has been issued in the background of what happened in the Amhara region, that NAMA, mainly NAMA and other groups, they opposed Ethiopian army's operation in Amhara region. So Amhara military relations are tense these days. Otherwise, in no other regions, groups or individuals tried to defame the army. Secondly, was Birhanu Jula spoke around 48 hours ago about Fano, about Amhara Special Force. Birhanu Jula made announcement about dismantlement of special forces. He said that all regional special forces had ceased to exist. And now special force members will be given, they will receive trainings, they will undergo trainings, and then they'll be deployed to new positions. Though it's not clear, will these special force members be adjusted to other security institutions or not? It's not clear, especially in the Amhara region, where we are seeing that Amhara special force members are being told to hand over weapons, and then they're being told to go back to their homes, that in June they'll be recalled. So let's see when they are recalled and what are their new assignments. Birhanu Jula criticized Fano a lot in his talk 2 days ago. He accused Fano, he said Fano members killed Amhara special force members. He did not share details of where this incident happened, that Fano members attacked Amhara special force members. I could not find any details. I am not aware of any such attack. That is why. Maybe attack had happened, it was not made public, but this is now Ethiopian army's official position that Fano attacked Amhara special force members. Where, when, no details. Secondly, he said Fano has created lots of damage. It has caused lots of damage and conflict in the Amhara region. Thirdly, he accused Fano, hardliners and bandits of paralyzing Amhara region. So basically, his talk was a charge sheet against all those groups which have been part of Amhara resistance movement, which has been suspended so far. No one knows about its next plan. But political parties, opposition parties, parties in power like Nama, opposition parties like Baldiras, Fano factions, academics, NGOs, diaspora, large number of people of Amhara, all were part of the protests which we saw across Amhara region in Wollo, Gojam, Gondar. Thousands took to the streets. Is it responsible on the part of a top military man in Ethiopia to blame hardliners, Fano and others of destabilizing the Amhara region? It could further deteriorate fragile relations between Amhara region and Ethiopian federal government. I think this narrative of strong criticism of groups in Amhara should change. Criticism by Ethiopian federal government, Ethiopian military officials, because this is not how conflicts are resolved. Amhara Special Force is being dismantled. Decision was made by the government. Ethiopian army implementing the decision. What is needed is some constructive engagement between the federal government, between Amhara regional leaders, Amhara groups. Assurances should be given to these people. If people have concerns about potential attacks from Ola, from Tigray forces, Ethiopian army should take people into confidence, people and groups from the Amhara region. Meetings can be held. Community elders can be involved. Church elders can be involved. That is how you de-escalate a situation. But if top man of military levels direct allegations against Fano, which is supported by large number of Amharas, will it lead to normalization of relations between groups in the Amhara region and Ethiopian military? No, it will not. That is why, being head of the military, Jula should act responsibly. I am not saying that Fano has not committed any atrocities. Everyone has done that, by the way. All regional forces, special forces, militias have been involved in human rights abuses. But problem is that Ethiopian institutions, they use people, they use groups, they discard them. And then these groups turn against the government, and it leads to start of a long, continued confrontation, which becomes a threat to the people. So that is why this is the time for Amhara and Amhara groups and Ethiopian army, Ethiopian government to fight. Ethiopia just out of war in northern Ethiopia, but leaders in Addis Ababa will have to act responsibly, I think. Thank you for watching.